What's up, everybody? I'm Jackie. Welcome back to my channel for the ones that are new. So as you can see in today's title, I decided that I would talk about my birth story when I was in labor and stuff. We all know it's not a secret that something is in the air right now. Like, I go to my social media and like literally babies being born left and right, and I'm like, whoa, like that's crazy. And it's crazy because I didn't try to join this bandwagon, it just happened, and I'm sure for a lot of people it just kind of happened too. So it's funny at the same time. Like, for example, on my end, I ended up announcing my pregnancy. And then that same day I found out, after I got a phone call from my sister-in-law, that she was expecting. And then 2 weeks after her, so she was 2 weeks after me, then 2 weeks after her, but I found out on the same day as well that my sister was expecting too. So I was like, oh my god, like there are so many babies, oh my god, this is crazy. So I mean, it's an awesome thing. So we're officially done. I'm ready to get my tubes tied. But like I said, you know, I love listening to like birth stories and listening to other people kind of like with what they went through, because everybody's story is so different. So for the ones that are interested, you know, just keep on watching. Pretty much I had like a terrible pregnancy. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna act like it was just, oh my god, it was like so great. No, it was horrible. I literally did not want to be pregnant anymore from beginning to end. At the beginning, I was very nauseous, and I was very tired. Aside from being tired, which, you know, that's like a symptom that everybody gets, I would have like these like, you know, like when you're getting a fever and then you just have your like body just hurts, like these body aches. So at the whole entire 3 months, I started having these body aches, and they were horrible. And I was like, oh my god, when is this gonna go away? So, and then not only that, I began to have like all this like numbness in my face, and I had like all this numbness like over and over and over, and it would never go away. And it was like, then later it started kind of coming in like waves and stuff. So I was like over it. I couldn't handle it. It lasted from beginning to end, literally the entire pregnancy. I guess that was just like one of the side effects that I was just having, or symptoms that I was having during pregnancy, which I never had that before. So it kind of like messed with me the whole time. It didn't really allow me to enjoy the pregnancy. So I had something called like hypotension, pretty much just your, you know, blood pressure being very low. I would hit like, I remember like, I think one of the lowest times I hit like 101 over like 65, I believe. My blood pressure is usually kind of regular, but pregnancy, you know, it does go lower, but mine was like very, very low. So during my pregnancy, because of it, once my stomach started growing and like my belly just started getting bigger, I started it would all like, I would get this pain, and it would start in my back. And it would just like literally in the middle of my back, I would just like get this horrible pain, and it was like unbearable. And it would make me like almost faint every single time. Like, if once I started having the backache, I knew that the fainting spells were coming. So during my pregnancy, I remember, obviously you have like the nausea at the beginning and all that kind of stuff, so that's totally normal for me. I feel like I have like, I can smell everything on a regular basis. So being pregnant, I was, oh my god, I could smell anything from like a mile away. So can you imagine somebody that can smell everything from a mile away now? So now you're smelling like, you have like a super freaking nose. So it's like, dang. I ate crushed ice like there was no tomorrow. Like literally every day I would go to Sonic, and I would get me a strawberry lemonade, Route 44, with extra ice and extra fruit, just so I can eat the ice, and it had like a lot of strawberries on it and stuff like that. So that was like one of my biggest cravings. I had that every day. Or I would just, and everybody would be like, are you anemic and stuff like that? And I'm not anemic, but it was just so good. Like, I loved ice. So and then I have like this funny situation that every time that I get pregnant, I don't know what it is. Like, Brian swears, he's like, oh, it's because it's my babies and all this stuff or whatever. But I get like these like crazy reflexes, like freaking Spider-Man. Like I get like these like Spider-Man reflexes. So like it'll be like so crazy. Like for example, like right now I have like this like bottle right here, and like out of nowhere, like it could be falling from like who knows where, and I was just like whoop, and like catch the freaking bottle and stuff. And or it could be like something about it like drop, and I just like catch it like really fast. It's like the funniest thing, but I'm so serious. It's happened to me with every single one of my kids. Every single time. Like my reflexes are amazing. Like Brian's like, dang girl, good catch, you know. So like back to like the hypotension, this is kind of like when it started, or when it started getting like just worse. I remember I went to go get my glucose test done, and that nasty sugary drink that you have to take. And when I got there, I drank my drink, and I remember it being, I drank it like at 9:00, maybe 9:10. So around 10:10 I was supposed to go and get my blood drawn. So around, I want to say it was 9:45. I'm a very strong person, so I was, you know, I can tolerate a lot of pain. So I was like, I'm gonna stand up, I'm gonna walk around, I'm fine, I'm good, you know, I'm chilling. And that pain just like starts, but it's like it came with like a really weird feeling, and it's kind of hard to describe. I just know that it was like really painful in my back. And next thing you know, I felt like I was gonna faint. So and like my heart kind of started racing. So I told the lady in the front, I went to tell her, it was like 9:45. I had to get my blood drawn around 10:10. And I told her, I was like, hey, I don't know what's going on, but I feel really lightheaded. I just took my glucose drink and I just been waiting, and I just felt really lightheaded. So she's like, okay, you know what? Just come to the back and, you know, sit down, and you know, we'll give you some water, and then hopefully you get better. So I drank the water, and I was like, okay. I started kind of feeling better. I was like, I think I'm good now. I think I could take the test now. I'm good. So she's like, okay, we're gonna go ahead and, you know, draw your blood. So she starts drawing my blood, and when I tell you that I just completely started losing it, I was like, I'm fainting. Like, and she was already finished. Like she was literally about to finish, because that's when it hit me the most. And I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna faint. I don't feel good. And then I was like, I can't see it. She's like, are you there, honey? Like, oh my god. And she was like freaking out, and I felt so bad. I literally thought that I was dying. Like I was gone, and I was like, oh my god, this is it for me. And all I could think about was like Brian and the kids. I could barely hear anything. Everything was just going away. And I was like, I can't really see you. Like, I don't know where you are. I don't really see you. So she was terrified. Oh my god, it made me very emotional, because I guess I was just scared. So then next thing you know, I'm like kind of like coming back, and I'm like waking up, and I see like 5 different nurses around me, and then there's a wheelchair, and then there's a fan right in front of me. There's somebody with crackers. They have alcohol, a little alcohol thing right here under my nose, and then it's just like blowing like, are you with us, Jackie, and all this stuff. And I was just like, huh? And I was like, oh my god, yeah, I am. And they're like, oh my god. And they're like, can you get up? Like, do you want to? So they like wheeled me down to like one of like the beds in the OBGYN, and you guys know those are like super uncomfortable. So it was like terrible. And that's when they were like, okay, you have whatever, your blood pressure just keeps going down, and that's very dangerous, because you don't want it to happen while you're driving, or you don't want it to happen, you know, at any given moment. It can happen. You could be with the kids, and it's, you know, it could be really dangerous. So I had another incident when I kind of drew the line right there, and I was like, okay, I can't go out by myself anymore. So I went to Walmart, and I went grocery shopping, and I remember going on a Monday, and the lines were so big, and I was like, oh my god, my back is starting to hurt again. Like, I don't know what's going on. So I kind of like grabbed onto the cart, and I kind of like sat down, and then I was like, okay, it's almost my turn. So I'm going, and I'm headed over there towards the self-checkout, and I'm starting to put my you know, like scan my groceries. And then next thing you know, I start like blacking out again, and my blood pressure starts like going down, and then my back starts hurting. And it doesn't, thing is with that is that you can drink water, you can eat chocolate, you can have a Coke, you can do whatever, nothing will make me go back to regular. Once it starts, and there's nothing you can do about it, you know. So I remember like where you have like the bags and the self-checkout, I sat down right there and I kind of just like looked down, and I was like really pregnant. So I'm like looking down and I was just like, okay, I need to take a deep breath. Like, let me just take a deep breath. And next thing you know, like I start kind of like going out and like getting like so like loopy. And then this lady comes up to me. She's like, honey, are you okay? Are you okay? And I was like, no, like I feel like I'm gonna faint. And here come like 3 other women, and then they like come and they're like, don't worry, honey, we got you. And one of them was like, I've been there before, don't worry about it. So they like put all my bags, they scanned my card for me, they put everything in my cart, they pushed my cart. I was so grateful that they did help me. And it was like such a crazy situation. I don't even know why that even happened to me. I ended up getting so big, you guys, and I was like kind of fluctuating between 137 and 140, and I went in at 200 pounds. It was the biggest I ever got during a pregnancy. So I felt like every bit of it was just like too much weight. Like the baby was just way too big, like in my belly. I got around 38 weeks, and then they said, you know, because of your hypotension and all that kind of stuff that you're having, we can go ahead and try to strip your membrane. The doctor, she said okay, and then she's like, if it's possible. I didn't know that it wasn't possible if you're not dilated. And every single pregnancy I have had trouble being dilated, like every single one. I don't know why, I just never dilate. So it was already 38 weeks and they were checking my cervix, nothing. At 37 they started checking, I want to say at 36, 37. So I started checking, nothing every week, no dilation, nothing. And I was like so discouraged, honestly, because I was like, oh my god, like, you know, I'm probably gonna have to get induced, which I'm totally fine with it because at this point I was already used to it and stuff. But I just wanted to have the baby already because I just had too many problems. And I hit 39 and they tried to strip my membrane again, and it wasn't possible. At 38 it wasn't possible, at 39 it wasn't possible. And I swear the doctor, he was like going in there like poking and poking. I swear he did it like 9 times. It hurt so bad, I was so sore, and he just could not get through. He just could not get through like my cervix. And I was like, what the heck. My date that I was supposed to have the baby was October the 6th. But I ended up, like I said, scheduling my induction sooner because I didn't think that I was gonna be able to take it anymore. It was just too crazy, the symptoms and stuff that I was having. So I went into the hospital that night, and they took me in. You know, we had all our stuff ready and everything. I remember they started off with something called Cervidil. I had never had Cervidil before, but it's just like a long like string type thing that they put inside you, and they put it all the way up, and then it's just so it basically can help you dilate overnight. So they just leave it in there so it can just kind of like run its course, and then at, you know, 8 in the morning or so, whatever time that the doctor is going to be there and that they have to have you scheduled for, then they come and then they kind of like take it off or check, you know, how much has worked overnight. So pretty much they came checking me the whole time. They kind of started kind of late, so I want to say like around 11 p.m. is when they started my Cervidil. So yeah, so you can go like pee and still and everything and be normal. It just kind of feels like if you have like a little tampon string kind of hanging out. I'm reading my notes that I remember that I had because I was like texting and stuff, so I can know exactly what was going on. But basically the doctor came in, and then they took the Cervidil out, and then the fluids, they started them because basically like the epidural makes your blood pressure go down, and I already have low blood pressure at this you know, during this pregnancy. So pretty much like they were giving me like extra fluids, like a ton of fluids. Like it was like ridiculous. And they say that, I never knew that an epidural makes a baby kind of angry, so they're obviously focused on the baby to stay happy, so they're gonna like throw in more fluids and more fluids because of the baby, more fluids because of the epidural, more fluids because my blood pressure is low. So it's like, oh my God, I'm just like getting bombarded with like tons of fluids. It's like insane. Pretty much they started, my contractions kind of started coming in with the Pitocin and stuff. I mean, I had the contractions the entire time, but nothing was like hurting, nothing that I couldn't tolerate. But then I started having like my first like hard contraction. I remember it was like 7:30, and then I remember like it hit like 9, and I was like, I told Brian, I was like, okay, you know, pass me my makeup, I want to do my makeup and stuff. I remember getting like my first contraction, and I'm like in the middle of like doing my makeup, and I'm like, oh my god, like this is like so hurting, babe. Like, and he was like, man, I told you need to start doing that makeup if you really want to do your makeup. Like, you better start now and be quick, because you know you're not gonna be able to do it after. So I was like, oh my god, okay. So then finally I got done. As soon as I got done, they came in and they were like, I think that you should go ahead and get your epidural because your contractions are getting stronger and you're not going to be able to sit still. And it's like, it's such a terrifying thing. Like, I really am so scared of the epidural, but I've gotten it every single time. Just because I'm so scared like of having like to push a baby out. I just don't know what guys, like, even when it comes to getting a pap smear, I'm like, I have like PTSD. Like, I cannot even get a damn pap smear. Like, I'm such a chicken when it comes to like that kind of stuff. So I was, obviously I'm gonna get my epidural, but I'm so scared to get an epidural because that crap is like, oh my god, like, and it's like a process. So it's all of it. I hate it. I hate all of it. Oh, and then actually, after they did my epidural, I started having like a really bad side effect. Usually I just get like itchy and stuff like that. But no, this time around, I remember laying in the bed, and then my heart started racing, and I was like, oh my god, like, what's going on? What's going on? So I go like into like panic mode, and I start crying, and then I didn't know what was going on, and I asked the nurse, I like told her to come over here. So that she comes, and I said, I don't know what's going on, and I'm like in the middle of like crying and stuff. And then she said, she's like, I don't know, like, let me look. So that she's looking at the monitors and stuff. So every time, for some reason, that I would get a contraction, my heart would begin to race. So I would start having like a panic attack almost every single time that a contraction was getting really high up. And it was horrible. So I remember like every time I'm like, oh my god, here it comes again. And then my heart starts to race. And she's like, like, I've never seen this before. This is like different. So I was scared, you know, because I was like, what's going on? Am I gonna die? Like, what is this? Like, oh my god, I was just thinking the worst, honestly. So you know, Brian's just like, baby, calm down, everything's gonna be okay, like, you know, chill out, whatever. Slowly it started going away, but I never understood why that even happened to me. You know, it was just really weird that I literally had like panic attacks every time that a contraction would come, and it wasn't happening when I didn't have the epidural. It happened, unless I was gonna start having them anyways, if I didn't get the epidural, but it which needed to be stronger, which that would have been even 100 times worse, because all that together in one, I don't know, it just sounds like a terrible combination. It was just kind of like, once that kind of calmed down, it was just a waiting game. The whole time they were like flipping me over, turning me to the side. They brought that peanut ball that they put, so they were just like kind of putting me towards the right side, putting me towards the left side, and all this stuff. So then they were like, okay, you're at 7 centimeters, you're at 8 centimeters, and all this stuff. And then I was just, you know, eating ice and stuff. My mother-in-law got to make it in the room. They actually had told us that you can't have anybody in there. And then so it was just gonna be me and Brian, obviously. She was there, which I'm glad that she was there too, because I really wanted this to be recorded. I just wanted it for my memories and stuff. I really wanted it. I just wanted to have it, and to have like my birth. I didn't want it to be like all up in front of my face or anything like that, or, you know, my vagina and stuff, but I did want it recorded and stuff. I just wanted to think it's like a special moment and to have it on video. So yeah, so then finally it was time to push. I was at, you know, I was ready, 9-10 centimeters. And they were like, okay, I think it's about that time, you know. that we start, you know, getting ready. So I was like, oh my God, this is crazy, this is crazy. The next thing you know, the contractions just started getting really strong. And it wasn't that the epidural was wearing off or anything like that. I just feel like every time that I had it, it worked less. Towards the end, I could feel almost everything. Like, there was so strong. So I'm like crying, and I remember shivering, like, and I was just like shivering, but it was just like a side effect that I got from the epidural towards the very end. And so I remember they were like, okay, it's about that time to push. But like my tailbone, like I could feel like all this pain in my tailbone. It was like really painful. And then I could feel all this like horrible pressure from the contraction. So I knew like every contraction, and I was like, oh my God, here comes another one. I'm like screaming, and then Brian's like, baby, just calm down, like it's okay. And then I remember my mother-in-law came like right next to me, and then she grabs like my hand, and she was like, oh my God, I don't cry because you're making me cry and stuff. So it was like, Brian's like, I knew this was gonna happen, both of you are just gonna be sitting here crying. So I was like, oh my God, like it was so bad. I was in so much pain. Doctor came in. She had just came from 2 C-sections. They got the table ready, they got all the stuff ready, all the nurses, everybody was there and getting ready. I actually just put my legs onto like the little whatever is connected to the bed, and then they were like, okay, you know, it's time to push. So here I go, like I start pushing, and oh my God, like I was just like, you know how you have to push when every contraction comes? Like as soon as I did like the first push, or like the second push, I want to say, it's on video, but I have to go back and like look at it. But as soon as you have like get into like that, I got into like that second push, Brian already was like, babe, you can see your head, you can see your head. And I was like, he's like, keep pushing. So I'm like, like it was so crazy. Like I'm like trying to push, you know, you putting your head on your chin and stuff, or you know, your chin on your chest, and I'm just like pushing, and like I can't, it's so much like chaos, like kind of like going on like with me and like my pushing, that I kind of really didn't hear anybody. I kind of just try to focus on like Brian's voice to kind of tell me what to do. So he's like, you're doing good, like the head's like almost coming out. But I literally could feel like her head like right there, and it just felt like it was gonna like rip me apart in a million pieces. So I didn't like, I wasn't waiting for the contractions. They were like, okay, if you think that you can go ahead and just push it, you just push as much as you can, or like push for longer, because I was pushing like short pushes. So, and then so they were like, just push like a little longer and then you got it. So I'm like pushing, and like they're like, you know, telling me, and I'm like, oh my God, I could just feel her head like down there, and it was so painful. Like it was so painful. And then finally, like her head came out, and the head's out, which I knew because I could feel that her shoulders were next. So I'm like, oh my God, that hurts so bad. So like her shoulders were next. So I'm like, oh my God, I just wanted to get her out of there. Like I was just screaming like, like, so like her shoulders finally, like I could feel like everything just kind of like come out. And you know, like they put her on me, and they did like skin to skin first and stuff, instead of like, you know, getting them to go away and all that stuff that they do. They put her like on me, and I was like, oh my God, it was like the sweetest little thing. And she was so chubby and like so like swollen and stuff and everything, and she was like so red and whatever. And then you know, I was like so happy. My baby was finally born, and her name, for the ones that don't know, her name is Salah Giselle Small. That's how you pronounce her name. She was born at 4:06 p.m. She was 7 pounds and 14 ounces, and she was 21 inches long. And the name, I had it picked out since we had Shalom. If it was going to be a girl, then we would have Salah, and if it was going to be a boy, then it would be Shalom. So we ended up having that. We knew since the get-go that was going to be her name from the beginning. And it means musical direction, and it also is interpreted as a blessing, meaning forever, or to praise and pause and reflect. But yeah, you guys, we're so excited and so happy to finally have our little baby girl. I really wanted a girl because I really wanted to give Scarlett a sister more than anything else. I feel like every girl should have a sister. I think she's gonna be like totally spoiled by everybody, from like every little one, her siblings and us and stuff. And then, you know, she's like the little baby of the family and stuff. And yeah, you guys, that's my story. I hope that for the ones that are about to have their babies, whether it's the first time or you're just kind of interested of, you know, you like listening to stories of being in labor like I do. For the ones that have decided to tune in, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like my video, subscribe to my channel, and hope you guys are here on my next one. Bye.